So do you also want to create training manuals in seconds? Then this video is definitely for you. So hello all, welcome back to Pabbly Connect, and in this video we are going to understand how to create training manuals and upload to Google Drive using an AI agent. So like you, I also used to manually create all the training manuals, but this is such a time consuming and a tedious task. So to solve this problem, I have simply created this amazing automation where what is going to happen is that as soon as I add the details into my Google Sheets, automatically my AI agent is going to create me the training manual, and further I'm just going to add that training manual into a Google Doc and in my Google Drive. So to do this, we are simply going to create a connection between Google Sheets, OpenAI, Google Docs and Google Drive. And to create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So if you also want to create this amazing automation for your own business, then for that you have to come with me towards my screen. Welcome to my screen everyone. So in this video I'll guide you through building an AI powered workflow that creates training manuals from raw inputs, automatically uploads the polished document to Google Drive, ideal for HR teams, onboarding processes or product trainings. This setup ensures your documentation stays consistent, organized and accessible. So let's dive in and build a seamless system for smart manual creation and storage. So yes, I have already created this automation, and first I'm just going to show you the proper working of this automation. For that, I'm just going to enter the training topic, the target role and the manual tone. And once I'm just going to enter all of these details, automatically my training manual will be created for this topic, and it will be stored right over here in my spreadsheet. So yes, you can see that it has been created. So I'm just going to open it right from here, and as you can see that my training manual has been created. So yes, you can see that within seconds and in real time the training manual has been created for this topic. So yes, this is no magic. This is the power of automation which we are just going to create in today's video. And if you also want to create this amazing automation for your own business, then for that you have to watch this tutorial till the end. So to do this, I'm simply going to open a new tab, and I'm just going to look for the landing page of Pabbly Connect simply by searching pabbly.com/connect in my browser. And now it is opening the landing page of Pabbly Connect, and over here we're just going to get two options. One is sign in and the another one is sign up for free. So if you are a new user, you can click on this sign up for free, and you're going to get 100 of tasks free every month to explore the application. But over here I am an existing user, so I'm simply going to click on this button which says sign in. And as soon as we're just going to click on this sign in, it is opening all Pabbly apps, and over here you can see all the tools and applications offered by Pabbly. But in today's video we are going to use Pabbly Connect because we are connecting different applications. So I'm simply going to click on this access now right over here to access my Pabbly Connect account. And once I'm just going to click on this access, now it is opening my dashboard, and to get started I'm simply going to click on this button which says create workflow. And now it is asking me for the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So over here on my dashboard you can see multiple folders which I've already created in which I save my workflows. So if you also want to create a new folder, you can go towards this same button which says create new folder and create your own. I have already created many folders, so I'm just going to save my workflow in one of these only, which is automations. And now I'm just going to name my workflow as this: create training manuals and upload to Google Drive using an AI agent. And then we are simply going to click on this button which says create. And once I'm just going to click on this create, it is going to open the most important window of our automation, which is our workflow window. So this is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. Trigger and action are the two main principles on which our workflow is going to run. Trigger means when this happens, and action means do this. So by this you can understand that the actions are response towards the commands given by a trigger, and that's the particular reason that we can have only a single trigger but multiple actions following the commands of a trigger in a particular workflow. And to get started, I'm simply going to select my trigger application, which is Google Sheets. So I'm just going to search for Google Sheets and select it. And now for the trigger event, I'm simply going to select it as new or updated spreadsheet row. And now it is giving me a webhook URL, so we're just going to use this same webhook URL in order to create a connection between our Google Sheets and our Pabbly Connect's workflow. So I'm simply going to copy this webhook URL, then I'm just going to open the spreadsheet, go towards this extensions, add-ons, and then we have to go towards this get add-ons. So we have to add an extension in this spreadsheet which is Pabbly Connect webhooks. So I'm just going to look for the same extension which is Pabbly Connect webhooks. So as you can see that I have already installed this extension, and that is the reason that it is giving me the option of uninstall. But if you haven't installed this extension, you're going to get the option of install right over here, and you can install it right from here. And once you install the extension, you have to refresh your spreadsheet. spreadsheet. So it is a really important step to refresh your spreadsheet. Otherwise, you'll not be able to get the option of Pabbly Connect webhooks right over here in your extensions tab. And after getting this option, we simply have to go towards this Pabbly Connect webhooks and then towards this initial setup. And after coming over here towards this initial setup, it is asking me for the webhook URL and the trigger column. Alright, so now for the webhook URL, we are simply going to paste the URL which we copied from my workflow. And now for the trigger column, I'm simply going to enter my trigger column, which is C. So the trigger column will be your final data column on which if the data is added, the whole of that row will be sent towards your webhook URL. So for me, the trigger column is C. For you, it can be anything else too. And after entering this webhook URL and the trigger column, I'm simply going to click on this button which says submit. And with this, you can see that it is saying setup configured successfully. So with this, we have successfully created a connection between our Google Sheets and our Pabbly Connect's workflow. But now it is saying waiting for a webhook response, and in the notes it is saying do a test submission / record. So in order to capture this webhook response, we have to do a test submission or record. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to open my spreadsheet. We are just going to go towards this extensions, Pabbly Connect webhooks, and over here we're just going to switch on this button which is send on event. So it is a really important step to switch on this button which is send on event, because upon switching on this button, automatically the details or every new event details will be sent towards your webhook URL. Alright, so after switching on this button, we are ready to do the test submission. For that, I'm just going to enter the training topic, the target role, and the manual tone. And once I'm just going to enter all of these details, automatically we have completed the test submission, and now Pabbly has captured the response for the same. So I'm just going to open my workflow, and over here you can see that Pabbly has captured the response for the same. And with this, we have successfully completed our trigger step. And now I'm just going to move on further. Now I'm just going to create the training manuals. Alright, for that I'm just going to use my action as my AI agent, which is OpenAI. So I'm just going to search for OpenAI and select it. And now for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as ChatGPT and click on this connect. Now it is giving me two options: add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your OpenAI account with your Pabbly Connect's workflow, you can simply click on this button which says select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection, and now it is asking me for the token. And to get this token, we are simply going to follow the help text, and it is saying kindly visit your OpenAI API key page to get the API key that you need to enter here. So I'm simply going to go towards my OpenAI API key page to get the API key. And after coming over here towards this page, we are simply going to click on this button which says create secret key. Now it is asking me for the key name and the project. So over here you can simply enter your key name and select the project and create your own secret key. I've already created many, so I'm just going to enter the token of the one right over here and click on this button which says save. And with this, we have successfully connected our OpenAI account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow. And now it is asking me to select the AI model. So I'm simply going to select it as GPT-4. You can select any another of your choice. And now it is asking me to enter the prompt. So I'm simply going to enter my prompt right over here. So yes, now you can see that I have successfully entered my prompt, and I'm just going to enter the details in my prompt. But we're not going to enter the details manually or by copy pasting it, but instead we are just going to map it. So you must be wondering what is mapping. So mapping is a method by Pabbly which means inserting the data from the previous step. And as you know, our previous step was the trigger step where we selected Google Sheets as our trigger application. So we are simply going to map the details from the response of our trigger application only. So first I'm just going to map this topic, which is the training topic. Then I'm just going to map this target role. I'm just going to look for target role and map it. Now I'm just going to move on further, and now I'm just going to map the tone. So I'm just going to look for the tone and I'm just going to map it. And after mapping all of these details, I'm simply going to click on this button which says save and send as request. So I've entered the prompt according to my own needs. You have to enter it according to your own. And once we're just going to click on the save and send test request, now my AI agent is going to generate me the training manual related to this topic. So yes, you can see the training manual has been generated. Over here you can see the title, the section 1, 2, 3 and so on. So as you can see, the training manual has been generated, and now I'm just going to add this into a Google Doc, and then I'm just going to add that Google Doc into my Google Drive. For that, I'm just going to add another action step. Now for the action application, I'm simply going to select it as Google Docs. And now for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as create a blank document and click on this connect. Once again, it is asking me for the same. So if you have already connected your Google Docs account with your Pabbly Connect's workflow, you can simply click on this button which says select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection, and now we have to click on this blue button which says sign in with Google. And now Pabbly is asking me to select my Gmail account, with the help of which I'm just going to connect my Google Docs. So I'm simply going to select my Gmail account right over here, and once I'm just going to select my Gmail account, Pabbly is asking me for some permissions. So I'm simply going to click on this allow and give Pabbly all the permissions it is asking for, because my data is secure with Pabbly. And with this, we have successfully connected our Google Docs account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow. And now it's asking me for the document name. Alright, so how do I want to name my document? So first I'm just going to enter the training topic. So I'm simply going to map it so that this field can turn dynamic. And now I'm just going to add the static information, which is training manual manually. And now I'm simply going to click on this save and send test request. And now a blank document has been created. And now I'm just going to add the text in this blank document. For that, I'm just going to add another action step. And now for the action application, once again, I'm just going to select it as Google Docs. So I'm just going to search for Google Docs right over here. And I'm just going to add the AI generated training manual in this blank document. For that, I'm just going to select the action event as append a paragraph to a document and click on this connect. Now over here, I've recently connected my Google Docs account. So I'm simply going to click on this button which says select existing connection and then save. And now my Google Docs account has been connected, and now it is asking me to select the document. But instead of selecting the document, I'm simply going to map it. I'm just going to switch on this mapping button, and I'm just going to map this document ID. So I'm just going to look for the document ID right over here, and I'm just going to map this document ID. And after mapping this document ID, I'm just going to add the text in this document, which is my AI generated content. So I'm simply going to map it, and now I'm just going to click on this save and send test request. And yes, you can see that I've successfully added this text in my document. And now I'm just going to add this document in my Google Drive. For that, I'm just going to add another action step. And first, I'm just going to make this document a shareable one. I'm just going to search for Google Drive. For the action event, I'm just going to select it as share a file with anyone and click on this connect. Now, once again, it is asking me for the same. So I've already connected my Google Drive. So I'm simply going to click on this, select existing connection and then save. And if you haven't, you have to go to it. This add a new connection, select your Gmail account. And now once again, I'm just going to map this file ID. I'm just going to switch on this mapping button. And after mapping this ID, I'm simply going to click on this blue button which says save and send test request. So I'm simply going to click on this button, and now we have successfully made this document a shareable one. And now I'm just going to add it into a specific folder. For that, once again, I'm just going to select it as Google Drive, which is the action application. For the action event, this time I'm just going to select it as upload a file. So I'm just going to look for upload a file and click on this connect. I've recently connected my Google Drive. I'm just going to click on this select existing connection and then save. Over here, it is asking me for the URL. So for the URL, I'm simply going to map this link, which is the PDF link, and I'm simply going to map it. And after mapping this, it is asking me for the folder ID, and over here I'm just going to get the folder ID from the URL of my Google Drive. I'm simply going to copy and paste that URL right over here. So as you can see, the folder ID is after this folder slash. So I'm simply going to erase all of this and map this folder ID. And now for the file name, I'm simply going to keep the file name as this only. So I'm simply going to map it, and now I'm just going to simply click on this button which says save and send test request. And once I'm just going to click on this save and send test request, we have received the positive response that we have successfully added this file in our Google Drive. So I'm just going to open my Google Drive, and over here you can see that this file has been added, which is our training manual for time tracking workflow training. So yes, you can see that we have successfully generated this training manual and added the file into our Google Drive. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our workflow. Now what is going to happen is, like I showed you in the starting of this video, whenever I'm just going to add all of these details right over here in my spreadsheet, automatically my workflow is going to get triggered. OpenAI is going to generate the training manual. We are further going to add that training manual into a Google Doc, and then we are further going to add that Google Doc into my Google Drive. So all of this is going to happen in backend. We don't have to come back and again to our workflow to click on save and send test request. So now go try this amazing automation for your own business, because right now we are offering a free trial of Pabbly Connect. And while trying, if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. See you in the next video with many more automation tips, everyone. Thank you for watching. So not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly Connect, you can connect many more applications. So now if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this URL. And now go try this amazing automation for your own business too, because right now we are offering a free trial of Pabbly Connect.